Adam from Nigeria, please. If you could stand up.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. SG. My question is, what beyond Nairobi, post-Nairobi, what are you doing? What is your commitment towards ensuring that the various issues that have been discussed in this conference, there's a kind of meaningful engagement and follow-up on the issues as we move towards the summits of the future? Because oftentimes we come to this kind of conferences and we talk, but then not much happens beyond the conference. Thank you.
I was following from far away, but following very closely the work in this Congress. And I have to say that from this conference is coming a very strong message for the member states that will be in the summit of the future. And the message that is clear: the multilateral institutions that we have today are the multilateral institutions created after the Second World War. Security Council of the United Nations, the Bretton Woods system, and others. They reflect the world of that time, not the world of today. There is not one single African permanent member in the Security Council. That is unacceptable. And the Bretton Woods institutions still reflect the economy of the post-Second World War situation, and doesn't take into account that the large majority of the African countries were not even represented then because they were under still colonial domination. So these institutions must be renewed in order to have justice, equity, and to have the capacity to respond to the dramatic needs of the peoples in Africa, with countries that are drowning in not only with the floods, but drowning in debt, because the international financial system has not worked in favor of them. Countries that have not received the financial support that was needed in order to invest in adaptation to climate change. And we see the results in the impacts of devastating floods in different African countries. Countries in relation to which there is not enough support to investment in the Sustainable Development Goals. There are many African countries that spend more paying interest of their debt than paying for education and health. So there is a basic unfairness in today's world. And our systems are outdated, are unfair, and are dysfunctional. And there was a very strong voice from this conference, from the civil society, saying these must change. And at the same time, we must be much better equipped to deal with the problems of peace and security, to invest much more on prevention of conflicts. And prevention of conflicts means development, human rights. This is where we must invest much more in the international community. A very strong message about the need of gender equality, a very strong message about the need to support developing countries to create emergency platforms able to respond to dramatic impacts like the ones of the recent drought. So there is a lot that needs to be changed in our international multilateral system to make it equitable, to make it fair, to make it correspond to the needs of the people of the 21st century. And the voice of the civil society here was very clear, telling the governments, time to move. We cannot go on postponing decisions. We cannot go on resisting change. We need to change dramatically the skeleton of how the international community creates the force that is necessary to provide the support that developing countries require to face the enormous challenges of our time. At the same time, a very strong message on the use of digital technologies, not as a privilege of the rich, but as something that will help developing countries to catch up more quickly and to be able to provide to their citizens the same rights that richer countries are able to provide.
Thank you. Efe?